Welcome to His and Hers Perspectives.
Negro women to be put to work. City ordinance soon be passed requiring them to be regularly employed. Many complaints. Regardless of whether they want to or have to, able-bodied Negro women in Greenville who are not regularly employed are to be put to work, put in jail, or fined heavily. We are going to continue on. Where am I? Okay, so exceedingly difficult for families who need cooks and laundresses to get them. Wives of colored soldiers getting a monthly allowance from the government have, a number of them, declined to work on the grounds that they can get along without working, according to reports.
Right, and that poses the question, why should they or do they need to work if their husbands who fought for the good old US of A, right, are being paid by the government, which empowers them financially to be able to take care of the affairs of their household? Why should they be forced to work? Is there not a bigger, like the writing is on the wall, is there not a bigger agenda at play?
Yeah. And like, what is this moth? Sorry, there's a little moth. He flew in through the window because it's hot in this room, so I had to open the window. But and like you said, these women were declining to work. They're like, listen, no, I don't need to work because my husband is taking care of the household. It says wives of colored soldiers. Sorry.
So no, I just fully agree. I was co-signing because that shows you that financially we were straight. Like they try to make it seem like, the women had to go and work because, we were eating scraps and all of this and that. No, like we had booming communities. Yeah, we had booming communities. We had a thriving ecosystem. You know what I mean? We were living amongst ourselves. We were supporting our own in business affairs and things of that nature. And obviously this is a small bit off topic possibly, but this is very reminiscent. An example of those kind of communities would be, Black Wall Street, which was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if any of you guys are unaware of Black Wall Street, I highly encourage you to look into that. See what was going on there and see how Black Wall Street actually was destroyed by white supremacists who were very angry at the idea that we were able to thrive outside of their system. And they didn't like that. And it's very similar to today, and it's very similar to yesteryear. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Most definitely. Okay, what I was going to do is just go back up and read and continue because I think it flows better because I was kind of reading the other sentence. So it says,
and just one moment, and just bear in mind for that last page is just that bottom paragraph because it's
All right. Okay, so it says, wives of colored soldiers getting a monthly allowance from the government have, a number of them, declined to work on the grounds that they can get along without working, according to reports. Others have flatly refused jobs without giving any reason whatever, while still others pretend that they are employed when, as a matter of fact, they derived a living from illegitimate means. Illegitimate means by whose standard?
Right. Can you prove any of that? Like, and that's the thing. How are you writing this in a newspaper which shows complete bias and you don't even have proof? Like,
exactly.
Can you substantiate any of these claims, or is this a smear campaign to force your agenda?
Right. And again, they were forcing Negro women out the house because the white women wanted cooks and laundresses, people to do their washing and stuff like that. So clearly it's a smear campaign.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And because that terrible seasoned fish, that under seasoned beef, that pink chicken.
When we used to eat meat, because we're vegans, we don't eat meat, but Remember when we used to go Nando's, and on the menu there is and you can order chicken, and it's called plain old chicken, and it's literally just chicken, no seasoning, no nothing. It's just chicken. I'm like,
those
how do you
husbands,
eat that?
them husbands was coming home getting drunk and beating the shit out of them white women.
What the hell are you giving me to eat, woman?
That undercooked chicken and that.
That's why they wanted the Negro women to come cook and put some seasoning in it, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted. The black men were coming to work with a lunch pail full of goodies from the night before.
Well, good.
The white man was going to work with a sandwich, mad.
Hold on. I need to remove this because I want to talk about that one time. You know, I love this. I don't even know what I'm going to say. But, you know, when we lived in another country, because my husband travels, you see, you know, some people in the comments was like, do you even travel? Nah, 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 nah. We have been places, we've lived in other countries, right? So when my husband was, you know, when we were living in another country and my husband was going to work and, you know, have his wife stay at home because that's what he wanted me to do. And he wanted me to homeschool the children. And I did it. And we were living great, right? I had no problems keeping the house and doing all of that. And I had to make his lunch for him. And when he would take his lunch to work, he would call me and be like, yo, these people are going crazy over the smell of the food. They're like, oh, what's that? Your wife made some, what? I don't know if you remember, but I can't remember word for word, but I used to love it when my husband called and be like, yo, these people are saying, oh, so what did your wife make you today? And then smell it. Them say, yeah, that season nice.
Right. Yeah, they don't know about none of that. They don't know about none of that. They coming to work with their basic sandwiches and
my husband had a cooked meal.
Yeah,
oh my God, some of his friends were jealous too.
Yeah, that meal hit that microwave and they smelling it everywhere.
And I remember one of your friends got upset with his wife because she wasn't actually doing none of that. It's like, yo, you ain't making me no lunch. How you ain't doing this? You ain't cooking me no breakfast. I'll wake up early in the morning to prepare my husband breakfast. I'll wake up early in the morning to iron my husband clothes so that he can go bathe and get ready for work. He don't have to do that. All he have to do is bathe, put his clothes on, take his lunch, and he's gone. I loved my role as a stay-at-home wife. It was not a struggle like y'all women act like. But anyway, off topic. Let's finish the last paragraph.
One more thing. Food smelling so good. Lizzo smell.
You wrong for that. You know, we've been getting some crazy comments like we don't know what we're talking about. You're going to have them come from us, babe. All right, so let me finish this last sentence here. It says, the proposed ordinance will require them all to carry a labor identification card showing that they are regularly and usefully employed.
Yo, that is alarming right there. That's
they had to prove that they were working.
What have we recently gone through where government entities force you to have a certain card to prove that your status was a certain status in order for you to travel? Just let that marinate real quick. And then not only that, we can also take that back to Nazi Germany and what was Adolf Hitler doing? He was forcing these Jews, and I'm going to say it like that, forcing these Jews, right, to have identification cards and able to be out after certain times because he enforced a curfew on them. So again, these are very nefarious.
History repeating itself.
Yes, very nefarious acts that are taken on by totalitarian style governments. Right?
Oh my God, babe, they ain't ready for this.
That's what that is. That's what that is. These are very these are planned, coordinated,
engineered, social engineering. Again, like we referenced that book. Please read it, guys.
Definitely.
Tavistock Institution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just finish this up. It's good to have these dialogue. So it says the proposed ordinance will require them all to carry a labor identification card showing that they are regularly and usefully employed, and the labor inspectors and police will be charged with the duty of rigidly enforcing the law.
Rigidly. We know what rigidly means, that and forcefully. So we're
And
using,
here again, the
we're
police.
aggressive.
Because you remember what we spoke about in that previous video, where we was talking about the law and how the police officers deal with us. And you can see that it's in law. And, we also had some comments where people are like, oh, well, the law is this, the law is that, boom, boom, boom. You remember some of those interesting comments. But again, we are aware that not everybody is aware of the things that we are aware of.
Yeah, and what's interesting is this topic, right? This topic in that article seems like it could be pulled out of an Orwellian novel. And not only that, but it also seems like it could be an episode on Black Mirror. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Women, right? Women being forced to work for an agenda that's much more sinister than it shows on the surface level. And then the effects of that over the long term, because look where we are today.
Yes, look exactly where we are. Feminism, women thinking they're better than men, women think they're beneath men. It's just because, as you said, like the generations, this has been going on and on.
And let's see, and let's look at the mind state of women and how it shifted, because it went from, no, I don't want to work, to now, be independent, sis. I get the bag, sis. I got my own, sis. You see where that has gone in a few short generations?
Yes, and again, like you were saying, like they don't even know what's coming in the future. Like this is a destabilization of society, and it's a totalitarian tiptoe, as you said. Like they started off here and they started off there, and
that is the preferred method of them. They tiptoe because they're playing the long game. They're not concerned about one generation. They are playing the long game. So as long as it takes, we are going to slowly continue to implement plan after plan, step by step, because we will lull you to sleep. Just because you only see one phase of it, you don't understand the bigger picture. What we need to start doing is taking a step back to realize and understand the bigger picture.
And you know what you just said? It reminded me again of what was in the Willie Lynch Letter. Again, like I said, I'm referencing this because there are so many people who have been convinced that it's fake. Well, I keep saying, if it's so fake, why are these things happening today? And even in that very book, it did say that they understand that the breaking of the Negro male and female savages, as they titled us, labeled us, they said they understand that they won't see the effects of their work in the current generations, but they know it will impact future generations because they are breaking the mind of each child of each child and family in these generations. And then the mothers start to teach the daughters this, and they put everybody in a reverse role. Hence why today in 2022, most women are in this masculine frame, and men are in a feminine frame and overly emotional. Now, no one's saying that men shouldn't show emotions. Of course, they're human beings, but men are more logical. They think things through, where women will more so act out and then think later, right? So yeah, they did a breaking of the people, and yeah, so what I had some questions in regards to this here, right? Because like we understand that it's going to, in order to change this, first we have to know how it all started. And now we can see, we have some, I guess, documentation, some evidence to show that this goes further back than just a welfare check, right? So I would like to know, how can we fix this problem? If you're appreciating the content and would like to show your support, consider becoming a channel member or sending a super chat, super sticker, super thanks, or alternatively, sending a cash app to #HisHersPerspectives.